Did you know that on Friday, August 15th, three of the top gainers on New York Stock Exchange were solar companies? Would you care to know why and what that means? Let me explain to you. Welcome to my channel, Chang's Stock Observer, where I review daily hottest stocks, gainers, and losers. I typically do 5 top gains and top losers, another 5. I also provide some introduction and analysis, part for my own learning, part to entertain my viewers. So here's a general vibe of today. I start with the news of today. Stocks score weekly win despite uncertain paths to rate cut. So this is a central theme of this week. Everyone is waiting for the shoe to drop, namely the interest rate to drop. And Trump and Putin had a meeting. There's some news about AI and so on. Overall, maybe it's Friday, the middle of August. All the indices are pretty flat. You see the stock, the Bitcoins. Interest rate is definitely moving up, creeping up a little bit. When I'm doing the research, I find some interesting news related to AI and chips. OpenAI staffers are selling 8 billion worth of stocks internally to SoftBank. And Meta is still struggling with its very expensive hires. So they're trying to structure their AI team and efforts. Applied Materials suffers one of the second worst days. I'll explain why you shouldn't worry about this. Now, why are the solar cell companies moving up? Many solar cells companies move up following the release of Notice 2025-42, which from the U.S. Congress clarifies construction requirements for projects seeking to qualify for clean energy tax credit. Now, what is the construction requirement? What was it before? The new guideline eliminate the previously available safe harbor option. So in the past, the developers of solar cell farms can qualify for tax credit by investing just 5% of the project cost while delaying physical construction. So basically, they can just start and never finish. Under the new rule, most wind and solar facilities must meet the physical work test to qualify. Now, this may sound like a death knell for the solar companies, but why are the solar companies rising? Well, that's because small solar facilities with maximum net output of with 1.5 megawatts can still qualify for this. So it's like all the energy and resource are going to the smaller ones. That's why they increased. Very interesting. The top gainers today, as I mentioned, are three of the solar companies: Run, SunRun, Nextracker, and First Solar. Two other companies making the list are all healthcare companies. I'll explain to you why. United Healthcare and Bausch Healthcare, which is a Canadian equivalent, I guess. SunRun is a leading home solar panel and battery storage company. I think maybe 20 years ago, I was dreaming about this future where every roof have solar panels. Now it is actually being turned into a reality. However, if you look at the long-term trend of the stock of this company, it's not doing very well, except for today's rise of 32%. But it still doesn't amount too much to the long-term decline of the stock. Nextracker is a software company. They have a true capture technology, a cutting-edge, intelligent yield optimizer, and control software for the solar panels. And the stock has been going up and down, up and down. And overall, for the 5 year period, it's going up a little bit, but it's not very steady. And today it finally got a 12% rise. Nice. Good for them. United Healthcare has one of the managers uh, murdered on the street of New York, if you remember. That's a company. Today it surged after Warren Buffett bets on recovery. Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, decided to buy shares of United Healthcare. It also bought shares of home builder Lamer and Nucor, which is a steel products company. So I think what Berkshire is buying are all what I would call bread and butter companies for the economy. And maybe that's what they meant will happen in the future. Bosch House Company had a rise today, but if you look at the overall history over it's always history, giant rise and suddenly drops. Ugh. The next company is also a solar company. Uh, if you look at the history, is not very steady. Top losers of New York Stock Exchange, NEGG, Newegg, and Globant, two semiconductor equipment companies, Applied Materials and KLA. Those are two of the strongest semiconductor companies. I'm going to tell you why, despite a 14% loss, and for Applied Materials, it's two losses in a row. I I don't think you should worry too much about it, but you should be smart about it. Tonix Pharmaceutical was on the list of the top gainer about 2 days ago, and today it switched over to the top loser. So Newegg was increasing for about overall 60% over 2 days, and today it lost some of the gains. But as I mentioned before, I really like this company and its management. It seems to be doing something right. So watch this company very carefully, please. Globant help organizations drive AI business transformation. So it's an enterprise AI company. You may think that a company like this would be going gangbusters for the past several months, but that's not the case, unfortunately. I don't know why. What's wrong with this company? So today it had a very nasty 15% drop. Applied Materials is a semiconductor equipment maker. As I explained yesterday, the equipment maker makes equipment for semiconductor factories. The factories makes chips. The chips get put into consumer products and consumers buy them. So if a equipment maker starts to see slower sales, then that means everybody's trouble might be following. And over a 5 year period, you can see the stock is going up and down, not very certain. Tonix, I mentioned before, had some fortune of rising and losing today. If you look at the long-term history, 5 year, it doesn't look healthy at all. It seems to be a company on the deathbed, I would say. KLA is another company that makes equipment. It's got a little drop today, but boy, if you look at the overall history of this company, it's so well managed. It just keep on going. And actually, it's the same story for Applied Materials if you look at the historical chart. So here it is. My takeaways for today is that the steady companies seems to be winning today. 3 solar companies, 2 healthcare companies. The losers today actually surprisingly consist of 2 semiconductor companies. I think the whole world is on this AI bubble bursting watch. Here is standard warning and disclaimer. This only serves as a observation, personal observation and commentary. Investment is very risky and one could lose everything. Thank you for having come this far in this video. I hope you like what you see. Please comment if you have special knowledge in any of the fields. There are a lot of experts out there, and I hope to see you again at the next episode. Thank you very much.